Let's see. Today is May 23rd in the year 2020. It's sunny outside with some clouds. And this morning, while I was walking the dog, I saw a beautiful pink flower. This flower was growing on top of a cactus, or at least I thought it was a cactus because it was so spiky. I wonder what makes a cactus, or why a cactus is so different from other plants. Hello everyone, Miss Cecilia here. For those of you that don't remember me, my name is Cecilia Sanders and I'm a scientist at Caltech. And I used to come into your classroom every once in a while to help you out with science activities and explorations. Now your teachers tell me you've been studying living things. That includes plants, animals, fungi, or different types of mushrooms, and even those tiny little creatures that we sometimes call germs and bacteria. All living things need energy to survive. They need water, they need certain nutrients and raw materials. So in order to get all of those things, they often develop complicated relationships with other living things. For example, let's imagine an apple tree. An apple tree is a type of plant, and a plant is a living thing. So like other living things, it wants to grow and it wants to make more of itself, make more little apple trees and spread them around the world. So in order to do this, first it has to collect some energy of its own. So like other plants, the apple tree grows leaves. Leaves are plants' way of collecting energy from the sun. They collect the sunshine using their leaves, and they turn the energy from that light into energy that they can use to grow. They use it to make food for themselves, and they use it to grow more leaves and even make apples. Those apples are full of seeds, so the next time an animal comes along, for example, a warthog, like the one I'm trying to draw here, that warthog is also a living thing, and the warthog is hungry because it also needs to eat and make more little warthogs. So imagine it eats the apple, walks somewhere else, eventually goes to the bathroom, has a little warthog poop. Maybe there's some flies that come around to eat some of the poop. And eventually the apple seeds that were in the poop will start to sprout again. And you can start to grow a new little baby apple tree. The apple tree and the warthog are just one random example of the kinds of relationships that can develop between living things and help them fulfill their needs. But not all trees are apple trees. Not all animals are warthogs. If all of the animals in the world were a warthog and all the plants in the world were an apple tree, well, the world wouldn't just be a less interesting place. It would also be a pretty unhealthy place. Because, as it turns out, a warthog needs more than just apples to survive. And an apple tree is susceptible. That means it has a weakness to certain diseases and certain fungal infections, and it may not be well suited to every climate or environment. An apple tree might not be very happy growing in a swamp or off the coast of Baja California or in the Arctic tundra. So different types of plants and different types of animals, it's important to have all of them. So it's important to have a lot of biodiversity. Biodiversity is just the word we use to describe having lots of different living things together, cooperating and living in the same space. So in order to better understand some of the biodiversity of the world around you, which isn't necessarily full of warthogs and apple trees, I suggest that you find yourself some writing materials. Now that can be chalk on a sidewalk, it can be a notebook and a pen, which is my favorite, or it could be pencils, crayons, markers, anything you like, and bring them with you the next time that you go outside or are looking out the window, and maybe take a closer look at some of the plants and animals around you. If you look closely at a tree trunk, do you see any ants? Do you see any bees? Do you see wasps? Do you see butterflies or flies humming around? And what are they doing to the tree? Are they landing on it and eating its leaves? Are they maybe crawling up and down it? Do they make their home somewhere in the roots or in part of the trunk? You may discover that small differences in the size or shape of a leaf or the color of a flower can really profoundly change the relationship that a plant has with other plants and animals and living things in its environment. And maybe you can try to answer the question of why a cactus is so different from an apple tree. What do they have in common that makes them both plants? And what are the differences that change and determine their role in the community?